The personality of Godhead, being worshipped by you, will spread my name and fame. He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. So this is in connection with the previous chapter where Kardama Muni has decided to leave and Mother Devhuti is repenting that I did not aspire to seek liberation, but I got enamored by this strong bond of material energy. And then in this chapter also, the continuity of the previous chapter, Kardama Muni is explaining that he will leave, but he will not leave. He will not leave, leaving Mother Devhuti, helpless or desolate. So now he is giving the solution. What is the solution? That Supreme Personality of Godhead will come as your son and he will help you cut the bondage. So very instructive verse it is. In many ways, Prabhupada explains. Many things Prabhupada explains in this purport. First thing is the appearance of Lord. Out of his affection towards a devotee, he accepts some devotee as his parents or his descendants. So Lord is completely independent. Right? And now the Lord is coming. For what purpose? He is coming to cut the knot, Hridaya Granthi. So if we see, what is so interesting in this, Kardama Muni is leaving and Mother Devhuti, she is dejected by his leaving. Kardama Muni is not staying back to console her. Rather, he is saying, this is the fact, I have to leave. You upgrade yourself to accept this fact. Isn't it? That is, now you develop detachment. That Hridaya Granthi has to be cut, for that Supreme Lord will come and he will teach you detachment. This is the way it has to be. So, he is not making any material arrangement, material adjustment to console Mother Devhuti. Rather, he is saying this has to happen. This is how the system works. You have to develop that detachment, right? And that Lord will come and teach you. And this is the right way of approach. So this is exactly same thing happened in Bhagavad Gita also. Arjuna got attached to his friends and relatives in the battlefield. First chapter we hear that. Krishna said, this is a system. This will not change. It is going to happen. And 11th chapter he shows that everybody is getting crushed between his teeth in the Virat Rupa. Right? The universal form. Krishna is showing the future of battlefield. What is going to happen? So what is going to happen? All of them are going to get crushed. Except you Pandavas, nobody will go alive from this battle. Like that Krishna says. So, this will not change. This is destiny. It has to happen. Upgrade yourself to accept this destiny by divine consciousness. Now, this is what Prabhupada explains here. And this is what Kardama Muni says. That he will come and teach you the knowledge of Brahman. Brahma Bhavana. So, material adjustments will not help. Brahma Bhavana or transcendental teaching only will help. It will upgrade us to accept the reality, the fact. Now, how it happens? Now, first part of the purport, Prabhupada explains about the incarnation or appearance of the Lord. Second part, it is explained here that spiritual knowledge vanquishes the knot of the heart. Matter and spirit are knotted by false ego. Right? So, matter and spirit are knotted by false ego. So, false ego means false identification. Maya Devi has two energies, Avaranatmika Shakti and Prakshapatmika Shakti. So, to make us work in this material world, right, they both are very, very essential. Avaranatmika Shakti gives us false ego. Avarana means to cover. So our original consciousness is what? Our original consciousness is we are Krishnas. Correct? Our original consciousness is we belong to Krishna. We are Krishnas. The moment we come to this material world, first she covers this knowledge. You are not Krishnas. The next question comes, then who are we? What are we? Because unless there is identity, one cannot work. To motivate any action, one has to have an identity. I am this, I am that. Say Ravan, he used to say, Hum Rakshas hain. So he is identifying himself as Rakshas, so I'll act like a Rakshas. Isn't it? So he needs to have an identity. Say there is a policeman. Now police job is to catch a thief. There is a thief running. Now policeman has forgotten that I am policeman. He is sitting. People will wake him up. Tum police wale ho. Utho, chor ko pakdo. Oh, it's my duty. So to take up any action, one needs to have an identity. Who am I? Then based on that identity, one works. So first Mayadevi, what she does, she covers our original identity that you are Krishnas. The moment if you remember we are Krishnas, then we will not be able to enjoy this material world. We have come to enjoy the material world. Right? Now, if you want to enjoy this material world, then you have to forget everything belongs to Krishna. Say, very interesting example. There is a, what do you say, dry cleaner. Okay. A rich man, he comes and gives his suit. ये मेरा suit है, coat pant है, इसको dry clean करना है. I have to dry clean this. And I will take it after 2 days. I need it for one marriage program. So this dry cleaner thinks, today I have to go for a marriage program. I'll wear this and go very nicely. And everybody will appreciate. A very costly 15,000-20,000 rupees suit. So very glamorous looking suit like that. He wears and goes in the marriage. And everybody is asking, wow, wow. I say, thank you, thank you. Oh, looks very costly. Thank you, thank you. So he has to forget that this suit belongs to somebody else. Otherwise, mera nahi hai, fir bhi tareef kar rahe. How will he enjoy that? Oh, thank you, thank you. Yes, very costly, very costly. Like that, he's going through that crowd and suddenly in the front he says, original owner of the suit is standing. Will you be able to enjoy that thank you and that appreciation? No. Same way, everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna says, I am hidden. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, Sutra Manigana Eva. Everything is belonging to me. I am holding everything, but I am hidden like a thread behind the necklace. So if I am hidden like a thread behind the necklace, if I come in front and say, why are you claiming my land as your land? Why are you claiming my wealth as your wealth? We will not be able to enjoy. Now people are saying, wow, how rich you are. Yes, I am owner of all this property. Oh, all this land, till wherever your vision goes, all that land is mine. And there are people like that. Krishna comes and says suddenly, this is my land. Oh, अभी 10 लोग तारीफ कर रहे थे, कृष्णा ने आगे प्रोग्राम बिगाड़ दिया. So Krishna doesn't come. So Krishna is hidden. He is doing his job because he wants us to enjoy this material world. So Krishna is merciful that way. Maya is also helping. You forget Krishna. Why? See, in 7th chapter, Krishna says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, all are mine energies. So wherever I touch, wherever I see, everything is Krishna's, and what I can claim to be my own, then how will I get the relish of controller, master, enjoyer? Isn't it? So Krishna says, everything belongs to me. So first Maya has to make us forget everything belongs to Krishna. She has to make us forget even we belong to Krishna. Now you enjoy. Now comes Prakshapatmika Shakti. That is a pushing force. How to enjoy? Now she will give us many false identities. Take up these false identities and now you enjoy. Right? So you enjoy like a human being, you enjoy like a man, you enjoy like an Indian, like whatever Prabhupada says, American, Indian, man, cat, dog. So everywhere we go, we try to enjoy. Sometimes we enjoy like a devotee. Sadhu hai. Pranam karo. Sab log pranam karo. Isn't it? So it gives us one identity, multiple identities, and time to time, place to place, we change our identities. And we tend to enjoy. All these are Hridaya Granthi. Upadhi. All are these called Upadhi or Hridaya Granthi. Now this is what is false ego. Forget Krishna and think of yourself whatever you want to think. You want to think yourself God, you want to think yourself demigod, human being, whatever you want to think, you think. Don't think yourself as part and parcel of Krishna. Rest whatever you think is Hriday Granthi. That is Maya. That's why Lord Chaitanya says, Gopir Bharto Padkamle or Das Dasanu Dasa. This has to be repeatedly. Tie a knot of it and wear around your neck that this is their identity. Right? Below this, anything less than this or other than this will not satisfy the soul. So, now here Prabhupada is saying, this identification of oneself with matter, which is called Hriday Granthi. Okay? So, how it happens is, they are knotted by matter and spirit are knotted by false ego. The moment we understand, in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains this. The moment we understand we have nothing to do with this material world, we are residing in the city of 9 gates, but we have got nothing to do with the city of 9 gates actually. This 9-gate city will function on its own and it's functioning also. What we have got to do is our conscious effort has to be in service of Krishna. Such a person is liberated. Very surely, in a very short time, he is assured to be liberated. So, this is how we are bound to this material world. Now, when we come to all these Hriday Granthis, different kinds of identities, right? Finally, whatever one may think of himself, whatever, it is sense gratification. Either personal sense gratification or extended self sense gratification, but nevertheless all of these are sense gratification. Now, here, very interestingly, Prabhupada has said in the purport, it is only by Brahma Bhavana, the instruction by which the spiritual knowledge is enhanced, that the knot in the heart is cut to pieces. No material weapon is needed to cut this knot, but it requires bona fide spiritual instruction. So actually there is no material knowledge or weapon which can cut also. Any knowledge other than we belong to Krishna will again take us away from Krishna. Entire problem is based on only one principle, that we forget we are Krishna's. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is pointing out the followers of the Vedas in 4th chapter. Krishna has mentioned many kinds of yajna kartas, those who perform sacrifices. And then Krishna says about them, some are doing sacrifices for demigods, some are doing sacrifices for Brahman, merging into Brahman, some are doing sacrifices as a brahmachari in brahmachari ashram, grahastha ashram, for getting liberation, for attaining yogic perfection, for attaining higher superior destination, dravyama yajna, tapoma yajna, like that, yoga yajna. So many performers of sacrifices are there. Now Krishna says, all these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reaction, and having tasted the nectar of the remnants of such sacrifice, they go to the supreme eternal atmosphere. So there are different kinds of people who perform different kinds of sacrifices. They attain 2 results. First is what? All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reaction. Okay? So whenever these people are performing sacrifices, they are becoming cleansed of sinful reaction. Second is what? Having tasted the nectar of the remnants of such sacrifice, they go to the supreme eternal atmosphere. That is Brahmajyoti. Not supreme kingdom or planet. Eternal atmosphere. Okay. This Prabhupada explains in the purport. Now Krishna says, all these different types of sacrifices are approved by the Vedas. So they are performing sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. Still they are missing out something. What are they missing out? They are missing out the real purpose of the sacrifices, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. So Krishna is saying all these different types of sacrifices are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. But they are not perfect. Why? Next Krishna says, famous verse, Tadviddi Pranipatena. Tat Vidhi. Tat Vidhi. Vidhi means try to understand. Try to understand what? Tat. Tat means that. In word-to-word meaning purposes, that Tat is that knowledge of different sacrifices. Till now they were doing these sacrifices. Severe austerities are there. If you see the description of these sacrifices from shloka number, say, it comes from 25 to 29. Severe austerities are there. But they have missed out one essential point. What is that essential point? They belong to Krishna. So now Krishna is saying, go to a bona fide spiritual master and learn that science. Tat Vidhi. Know that purpose of sacrifices from a Tattvadarshina. See, Tat means that knowledge of different sacrifices. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. What is the truth? Only one element, one link was missing in their whole process. What was that one missing link? That comes in the next verse. And when you have thus learned the truth, you will know that all living beings are but part of me, and that they are in me and are mine. So, how to perform Vedic sacrifices? One has to be so intelligent, so austere, so pure. Only Brahmanas, qualified Brahmanas can do Vedic sacrifices. Despite all these high qualities, Maya has not let them understand they belong to Krishna. This understanding comes only by coming to surrendering to a bona fide spiritual master. This is what Karda Muni is telling to Mother Devahoti. And this is what Prabhupada is explaining in this purport. That no other material arrangement, even Brahma Jyoti, Paramatma realization, these are also spiritual arrangement. They will also not help. Only a bona fide instruction, bona fide spiritual instruction coming from the Lord or a bona fide spiritual master will help. Nothing else will help. Nothing else can liberate. Nothing else can cut that knot of bondage. So even going to Brahma Jyoti is not a bondage. Going to Brahma Jyoti, we may think it's a liberation from matter. It's maybe liberation from matter, but not cutting off bondage. That knot, Hridaya Granthi. What is that Hridaya Granthi in Brahma Jyoti? If somebody is Brahman realized, what is the Hridaya Granthi? He has aversion to the personal form of the Lord. That is the Hridaya Granthi which is blocking him. Right? He is not ready to accept the personal form of the Lord. He is not ready to surrender to that personal form of the Lord. So, only way is to hear directly from the Supreme Lord or a bona fide spiritual master representative of the Supreme Lord. No other instruction other than these sources, no other instruction can liberate us fully from this bondage of Hridaya Granthi. Right? So this is how Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhayam. So these sacrificers, Krishna is saying, they all know the purpose of the sacrifices and they have tasted the nectar also. But Nihitam Guhayam, there is something which is very deeply hidden behind the sacrifices. Bhoktaram Yagyatabsam. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. This secret is hidden that they will not know. They can perform rituals nicely, they can attain or enjoy the results of these nicely, but the real purpose, the hidden intent behind the sacrifices is to attain Krishna, that they will not know unless tad vidhi pranipatena to Tattvadarshi Guru. Right? So like this, Karda Muni is telling to Mother Devahuti that Supreme Personality of Godhead, being worshipped by you, will spread my name and fame. He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. So in this way he will liberate you. Now for us to apply in our practical life, like we are discussing in the beginning of the class, that Karda Muni, he is not making any material arrangements, rather he is telling her, uplift your consciousness to that level of detachment. So unless this detachment is there, correct? Unless this detachment is there, isn't it? One cannot be happy, one cannot be satisfied. For devotee, it's very easy to understand how much we are in Maya. Correct? How much we are in Maya, it's very easy to understand. How one can understand? Prabhupada says in one simple line, one simple statement, Prabhupada says, anxiety If you are in anxiety, you are in Maya. Correct? How you are in anxiety and Maya? Because you are thinking of some material arrangement. You are not dependent on Krishna. You are thinking of some material arrangement, some material comfort. That's why you are in anxiety. Otherwise, a devotee is never in anxiety. Anxiety for Krishna is not Maya, but personal anxiety. Right? So this is a test. Now, this Hridaya Granthi, coming to this Hridaya Granthi. So when we are attached to something, correct, that is called Maya. Why? Because we are supposed to be attached as part and parcel of Krishna. We are supposed to be attached only to Krishna's service. But when we are attached to something else, we are anxious of anything other than Krishna's service. That means we are falling prey to Maya, or we are in Maya, isn't it? So in Bhagavad Gita, very nicely Krishna explains that how this attachment is dangerous. Arjuna asks very famous question in Baladeva Niyojayet. What is that verse? We do not, third chapter is there. Atha kena prayuktayam papam charati purusha. Yes. Atha kena prayuktayam papam charati purusha. Anichanapi varshne Baladeva Niyojita. So Arjuna is asking ki how this happens. So Krishna explains very nice, very interesting 3 points about this Hridaya Granthi or lust. What are those 3 interesting points? First thing that Krishna explains is this material desire or material lust. It veils the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. This is Avaranatmika Shakti of the Lord, of Maya Devi, covering potency. It veils the real knowledge. So when a person is in anxiety, correct, when a person is in fear, when a person is in anxiety, bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshita syat. So when this bhaya comes, when this anxiety or worry comes, when somebody forgets his real identity and he gets attached to the material situation. Prabhupada explains, due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield and he was forgetting himself on account of the weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things. This is Hridaya Granthi that Kardama Muni is talking about. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshitaha. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only unhappiness in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. Clear? So this is that excessive attachment. So we can immediately understand. Somebody who is not practicing and who has not heard from bona fide spiritual master cannot understand what is this anxiety, why this anxiety, and how this anxiety is, worthless actually. Isn't it? So first thing that this Hridaya Granthi does is creates anxiety. How? By covering our real knowledge. Now real knowledge is covered. How this real knowledge will be uncovered? By approaching the Tattvadarshi Guru. Then he tells us that you belong to Krishna. Isn't it? So first thing is, it covers our real knowledge. This is the first aspect of lust or Hridaya Granthi. And we will not know that we are actually in Maya. We will not know we are actually in Maya. Okay? That is a special feature of Maya. That one who is in Maya does not understand he is in Maya. That's why an external source is required. That's why external help is required. From Guru, from Supreme Lord, or from devotee association, when help is required to shake us up and show that you are in Maya. That's why Kardama Muni is saying to Devahuti, he will come and he'll teach you. He did not ask her to start doing tapasya. You also do tapasya. No. He will come, he will give you Brahma Bhavana, and then by this you'll get the detachment. So first thing is this. Second thing is, it is never satisfied and burns like fire. Right? Material desires are like that. First they will cover our knowledge, our Anatmika Shakti, then it is never satisfied. Prakshapan means everlasting launching. It will go on, go on, go on. After this I'll be satisfied, after this I'll be satisfied. No, lust doesn't get satisfied like that. You get one, then you want second, third, fourth, whatever. Whatever it is. Puja, pratishtha, lava, whatever it is, whatever. Material opulence is there. Anything. Atyahar, whatever is there. Anything. After this, what next? So second, it is very addictive. Right? It makes us addicted to it. And second chapter, Krishna says, even a man of intelligence, even a man of discrimination is unable to control this. Right? Because the force of Rajoguna is so high. This is the second thing. Third thing is, it is a destroyer of self-realization. One who is too attached to material situation, material comfort, material pleasure, his determination in devotional service will slowly deplete. Correct? It's a destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. The determination to perform devotional service goes down. So this is how this Hridaya Granthi in the heart, if not properly cut down by hearing, by submissive oral reception, by doing proper service, proper sadhana, if it's not cut down, then it will create lot of anxiety, lot of dissatisfaction in devotional service, and that is not the way devotional service is performed. That is a test for us. Susukham kartum avyam. If I am not susukham, means my hearing is not proper. That's what Kardama Muni is saying. You just hear from him. Correct? He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son and teaching knowledge of Brahman. So it is so simple. So when our hearing is not proper, when the transcendental words of Supreme Lord and Prabhupada and a spiritual master do not fall into our ears, the material desires in the heart will not get dissolved, will not get diminished. That is the way. So that's why this hearing, which Kardama Muni is telling, the way to cut Hridaya Granthi is so essential. Right? So we'll stop here. Granthashram Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.